practical advice for guys that are looking to get into commercial work?
Yeah, we were all residential when we started. My father started this company out of his garage and really never wanted to grow it. He enjoyed doing residential work, and then I came on board, and we never had a condo association or really anything other than residential work. And then we picked up a condo association, and I saw the potential, and I'm like, wow, this is really, like, this is different. Like, they're going to pay us no matter what we do if we don't. Now, obviously, you got to perform, but if you're not there, okay, so like there were so many times when we were doing our residential route where it was the middle of August and we'd pull up to a house and they'd say, oh, don't cut us today. And, we didn't have contracts back then. We weren't thinking as business people. We were thinking more as like, go out and make some money and that's it. But then there were days where we'd go out and we wouldn't make hardly anything because it was August and the grass was dried out and we're driving around burning gas and not making any money that day. So when we got our first commercial account, I thought, what a great concept. So we started getting more and more into that. That became our business model. But, as far as bidding them and things like that, again, you need to kind of know your hourly rate, your production hours for your mowers. So measure the property if that's something you have to do. I do a lot of old school, like I'll measure it, but I'm still kind of one of those guys that can look at a property and tell you how long it's going to take to cut it. Most people don't do it like that anymore.
Fellow Cleveland Browns fan down here in Atlanta, by the way. The Browns are currently on an airplane flight to my city. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. You're looking at the property, Steve. You're calculating how many man hours it's going to take per service. Once you figure that out, are you multiplying that by 28, then dividing by 7 months? Or like, what's the math? And again, forgive me for not knowing Cleveland market. We're year round down here, but what's the math then once you calculate, I think this is going to be X amount of hours per service? How do you take the math to actually give them a actual bid?
Great question. Okay, so if you're looking at mowing only, and let's just say it's $1,000 a cut, we'll make it simple. Okay, so it's $1,000 per cut. We figured out what our hourly rate is. It's $50 an hour. So we figured it out. We got $1,000 a cut. And in Cleveland, it's 28. Basically, we budget for 28 cuts. And that's from April 1st to November 30th. Well, there's about 35 weeks in there. So I always tell, and I make sure that most of the customers know that because that's kind of how it works in this market. But I try to let them know that, we do budget for a couple of skipped cuts. But I also tell them that if we go over, we're not going to charge you either. We kind of keep it amortized. This is going to be your monthly payment. So we take that. So that's $28,000. We'll take that $28,000 and divide it by 8. And then that'll be our contract price. Now, other things that are included in that, depending on how you work your contracts, is your spring cleanup, your fall cleanup, and your shrub trimming. I don't like to put mulch in my contracts as far as like amortizing that over 8 months because I need to get that money as soon as we're finished with mulching, because some of our mulch jobs are $20,000. So I don't want to amortize that over 8 months. Fertilization is the same thing. We bill that as we apply it. So if each property gets 4 applications of fertilizer, we bill it as it. But those two prices are not part of the amortization.